Can you guys hear me?
West Smooth 98.1 FM. Good morning and welcome to the Grapevine. It's time to get into everything entertainment. We're sinking our teeth into it this morning, and let's see how it goes. And just make sure we get you to get your reaction to the WhatsApp platform. 0809 4440981 will be where we read your messages. Go over to YouTube and you can catch all the reactions in the studio right here. And you can go back and get a replay of this conversation on youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. Good morning to Efeture.
Good morning, Amas. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Lagos.
Good morning, Irabor Okosun.
Good morning, Omas. Good morning, Efe. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody.
It sounds like a very good night rest. That good morning comes from a place of a good night rest. But Irabor, how has it been?
Yeah, it's been good though, actually. Yeah, funny enough, the past week has been okay. We thank God.
We're starting the conversation this morning on a very, very sad note. How will the bright stars in the firmament of Nollywood just falling off before we hardly would have time to replace them is what this story would bring to mind this morning. So it's a sad one for the Nollywood family and, of course, the Nigerian entertainment circle as the world is coming to terms with the fact that John Okafor, aka John Ibu, Mr. Ibu, as he's fondly known as, is no more. Irabor, how did that news come to you?
If I'm being honest, with the events that led to this ultimate one that we know now, I was particularly worried. We've talked about Mr. Ibu for quite some time over the months, on Grapevine and Film Focus with Cheung. And, when you start seeing certain types of news, you're just like, will this thing let up? Will this thing hold up? Will this person, become better? And you only hope for the best. When I saw it, I think I was on a show that time and I saw the news on Business Day or something. And I just shook my head. I was just like, man, wow. A lot of people bring joy to your life in different forms and they just go at a particular time and you just feel so down. Because if you go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I'm sure all of them, when they were doing all this, back in the day, I'm sure they didn't. I mean, most of us didn't even envision our lives would be this digital today. And I can't even put a number to the amount of lives that Mr. Ibu or Sam Loco or any of these people, Amechi Mona, go and go, the kind of joy they would have brought to people's lives. With their comedy, with their acting, it's just so sad, whenever I see things like this, I start thinking, I try to be as proactive as possible because you can't know the future. But, if you're living in the present and you're still trying to live, in the future, you have to start thinking of yourself, your well-being. And I just started thinking about the guild, the people themselves personally, how they're supposed to take care of themselves. You can't predict anything. I know of people who haven't smoked or taken any alcohol in their life and they're still sick, so things are very unpredictable. But my point is the things that you can prevent, how can you prevent it? What things are in place to help people who are no longer, maybe active in a particular industry or profession or something? My mind just went all over the place, see, even now, the question you asked me, I'm just all over the place. Mr. Ibu, that superstar, is that personality, is that actor that no doubt is a legend through and through, and he will be missed. There will be nobody like him.
Efe, when you got the news, what would be the fondest memory you can think of John Okafor, aka Mr. Ibu, as?
Well, that's a tough one. No mass. Okay, but
that's very tough.
That's a tough one. But I had the news first in the WhatsApp group that I was part of. I think it was between Saturday and Sunday. Personally, I had a loss in my family, so it was just bringing everything to the fore. I think one of the fondest memories was how they knew how to slip him into, so all these skit makers that kept on using him as or you based on his exclamations. That was one of the fondest memories, and they do fit into those memes because they just made everything lively and more funny. Of course, he has had a good run. He did do great work in the industry with his partners, Aki and Popo. I remember some of those stories, some of those movies that they acted together. I was never really a fan, but I do respect the man for going the long haul, especially at the age he was. And as Irabor has rightly mentioned, the likes of Sam Loco, he can be likened to Sam Loco and the other people that just put up a funny face, did what he could to make people laugh. We do know how to laugh in the midst of sorrow. And he did that. It's unfortunate what was happening around his family, but he was greatly loved. The industry has shown their support. I don't think I've seen anything from the guild, but the actors and actresses that knew him, worked with him, that respected the work that he's put out, they sent their condolences to the family.
When you talk about it, there's a part how it's been incorporated into skits lately. There are some you hear where they were mounting a checkpoint somewhere, and I think that would be with John. That's Ukwa now. Where he talked about make we carry that mango station. You would always hear that in some skits incorporated. But for me, John Ibu in itself is just something that the memory I have right now was the last expression. Charles Enoje had gone to see him. And how they were able to laugh at themselves. He said, "Wait, this is Charles Enoje giving the account of how they when he met him in the hospital and how he could still laugh in that situation." And I said, "Idiot!" They could laugh, and I don't know, but it's a really sad one.
So
we're gonna it'll be missed sorely. It will really be missed. Even as long as it's been since Sam Loco, if he passed away, the man looks like he's alive because we still see his works surface online and you laugh like it's still fresh.
That's correct.
All right, so let's. It wasn't just Ibu's case alone. There was also another actor, Qadri. Sisi Qadri also passed on. Irabor, how did this come across as a weekend?
I mean, at the point, I was just like, should I even continue watching Anikulapo, or do I, just pivot to something else? Because it just felt very weird. I mean, you had Mr. Ibu, then you had, this person. And it just goes to show that somebody at 44, I mean, you're just wondering about life. I've been wondering about life since the beginning in fact, since late last year leading to beginning of this year, just trying to understand the meaning, why are we even here? And you just start wandering into different realms, and I started asking myself, I said, how would I even like to go, Seth? I mean, should it just be a headshot?
This is the point where we might have to stop Irabor. Understood.
Like that's the thing. That's where my mind went, So it was just a sad thing to see, this guy active in this kind of film, Anikulapo, and and you're wondering, the guy acted very well. So I was even trying to search for other, works of his, because there's something that Kula Fulanyo and Femi Adebayo and co have been doing. They've been introducing us to certain actors and actresses, that we don't necessarily know about because they're not on the big screen in cinema. They're not, on streaming. They're probably, on YouTube or, the Yoruba Nollywood platforms, and co. So he was one of the people that I penned down to go and check. So I guess I'll be watching previous works, not works that I'll be looking forward to.
The only clip I've seen of him of Qadri now was the one it was featured in a skit by Mr. Macaroni. Very hilarious. You can see that. So, but as we just rest all of this sad story that came as a follow-up from the last week, please accept condolences also on your family loss.
Thank you.
About. And to see you smile and just carry on, I mean, it tells you the kind of fortitude you've got.
Again, not sometimes that is inevitable. So we just reminisce again. Myself and my family just decide we started reminiscing on how she made us happy because it was an aunt. So we reminisce about how she made us happy when we were growing up. She was the great organizer. So again, that is inevitable. So we just pray that the souls of the faithful departed will rest in peace. So we give a big shout out to the families that have given us these people to be able to, again, entertain us and make us laugh. So we'll just continue praying for their souls.
Summed up already very well by Efeture. Let's get on now to India, where the dust is still settling as we speak. People are still talking, mouths are still left open as a result of the display of the opulence by the Ambani Mukesh family. This is not a wedding yet. It is just like, come and testing the mic. That's what they just test the mic in India. It was a pre. Anyway, so what, guys?
Omas, you want to join the family in this? Is what I say. It was a pre.
I don't mind right now, but okay.
Come and pick Omas up.
Omas will just drop mic immediately. He will even carry mic into the wedding service. He will even let them know that he's even inside radio. He will just be like, me, no mic, no mic, no mic, me, no do mic.
So let me bring us up to speed about how this, like I said on Monday, I stopped watching Indian movie for, I can't even remember when I started. I just feel when I see people get so passionate about that channel on the cable network, I pity people. But over the weekend, when Rihanna kept cropping up on this matter, I said, okay, girl, Rihanna, of course, Irabor had always accused me on the show if I said happy birthday to Rihanna or whatever. I said, why would you say this? So I said, okay. But Rihanna is performing for the first time in 8 years, and it was in a big way, Irabor. So you see why when you're big right now?
When you are big, you are big. I mean, it shows that there's levels to this. There's levels to wealth. When I saw it, I said, these guys, they're having their wedding in July and they're already doing pre-wedding in February. I say, I'll be in March or whatever. Even if it's even in April, it's still too early. I mean, is exchange rate your mate? Is business your mate? I mean, who is your mate? Who is your bro? Danny bro. Money is speaking, money is talking. People are moving. Superstars that are performing at Super Bowl are coming for wedding. Pre-wedding to perform $6.3 million per. Hey God, Chineke. Even that 0.3 has already done multiple weddings in Nigeria. It's good to have money. That's why I've already decided. I say I'm no more like Alicia Keys is going to follow anybody that their family or them themselves, they don't have money. I have to be secure in this life. I've hustled, I've tried my life. It's okay. Money is the number one factor that I'm looking out for right now. Every other thing backs it. That's what I thought when I said, Mark Zuckerberg came for your pre-wedding. Bill Gates.
Ivanka.
It's good to have money. It's good to have money. Let's just leave it there.
So
look at the guest list in itself.
Wicked. It's just like you mentioned it, and let's not forget this same family has had Beyonce play.
Okay.
Has had Chris Martin, and then the Chainsmokers, and then Rihanna. As the spirit moves me, I have a billionaire.
They will bring Michael Jackson
for a billionaire.
If he were alive. They would have brought Michael Jackson if he were alive.
As the spirit moves me, and then Rihanna did not hold back. She wore a long green, or was it emerald dress, but she performed, she danced, she sang 17 songs. She danced, as in, we can't compare the performances for Super Bowl.
Superstar that has not performed in 8 years came to perform in pre-wedding. Is money your mate?
Same is money your mate.
I like that point, the entertainment part you're getting into, and I would like you to really explore that part for us after now. Okay. So make sure your messages are coming across, reacting to the Grapevine stories this morning on 0809-444-0981. We'd love to read the messages, and you never know, when we go on the other side, we might be having some backstage conversation. You might race down to youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos. We'll be back.
That guy, like
is the richest. The father is the richest guy in Asia and even in India.
Okay.
So, and look at what are they into. The thing is elephants. Answer this. Look at the girl in question. The guy, the son. Irabor. Irabor, can Irabor hear me?
I can hear you. I'm here.
Oh, see the guy when they see the, if it is not money. do you ever see that girl getting
No,
mad that bad?
no. That's the kind of guy they bully in school now. That's the kind of
I
guy they
didn't
bully in
even look at the
school.
couple.
Have you not seen? Oh,
If the guy is times 17 of
Hey!
Omas, times 17 of Omas.
But love can
Nobody to tell me love is
Efe, drop your hand.
Stop it. Love
Efe, drop your hand. Forget that one, Efe, leave out that one.
Ah.
Efe, that kind of guy approach you without money, Efe, you no gree, forget.
So for where now?
Even me, that kind girl, that kind guy, if not girl,
Please check the
that
guy's
kind guy,
picture.
if not girl, I know go even gree, even if you get money, self. Me, so forget.
The father was crying on the
Like
night.
finally, our money has brought wife.
Yes. So
why you people like this?
That guy, with all the money he has, he should go and lose weight. And a fine boy officially. He needs to lose weight and he's tall. May no
I
go
was
collapse.
just like, so he's a multi-billionaire, the chairman and managing director of Reliance Industries, and then his wife is the founder of the Reliance Foundation.
The boy takes care of elephants. They have the only major hospital for elephants where the surgery. It's a major this and that's what they do. Elephants. Yes, sanctuary for animals. The 3,000 hectare plot for elephants where they. If you see the kind of facilities they've got there, endangered species, that's what the boy is focused on. Banata.
So you want to go? Are you going to go and take care of elephants? will you agree to take care of elephants for the rest of your life?
Studio, guys, studio. We're back. Smooth 98.1 FM. We're back. It's still a great conversation, and we're getting back into it right away.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Efeture. Okay, we'll let you get a breather now, but let's get the messages coming on to 0809 444 0981.
Yeah.
So before we're going to dig into Rihanna's costume and as much as the performance, it seemed like it was. We know you can go. Please don't Yahweh for us here, but then just watch the audience. Did you see there was a restraint? She was conscious a bit.
So I think again with age, respect has come into things, and then culture. You know, the Indian culture is they're conservative yet not because the women always show their
sari and all those stuff. Yes.
So, but Rihanna was well covered. Had long sleeves, had turtleneck. I think it was a see-through, so you could see what she was wearing inside. But she also had a respect she put to the dancing. So her dancers did majority of the stuff. But she got down. She still got down.
If you're paying that kind of amount,
she still got down. She was very excited to be doing. And I was just like, okay, Rihanna, Super Bowl. I know she was pregnant at the Super Bowl, so she couldn't do enough. But yeah, Rihanna wanted to Komole. I think there were times where she went, and then she's like, okay, you know what, let me. I know where I am. I think that's the same video I saw. She was like, oh, I want to, and then like, okay, let me not overdo it. But yeah, she was pretty excited. She had a lovely time.
And it was bare feet.
Yeah. Again, maybe it's respect to the culture. It felt like she just plugged it and said, caution, go your own way. I don't have my baby's out of my body. Now is the time for the men to show them what I'm. Yeah, I think she just let go. She really, really let go.
Irabor, does this look like a prelude now? That album, the all-important night album we've been begging for. Do you see this coming across now?
No, album is not coming out. Let us treat that one, I beg. There's no album coming out. Rihanna she needs to be inspired in some way, somehow, for that album to come out. And I'm sure she knows that she's not supposed to release just any type of album. She's just supposed to really bring out a banger of an album. So she's going to take her time. This one is just removing the cobwebs from performance. I mean, it's just like you now. I mean, not liking this to radio presenting, but I mean, if you haven't touched the mic in a while, there's just this excitement that comes, when you're just going to talk. So I'm guessing that's what it is. I mean, for her to say the show was the best, that goes to show that money really, really hit. And she enjoyed herself. So,
and it also shows that if you follow the game, it would seem like she's got quite a following in India because I saw the paparazzi and people wanting to reach out.
Interesting. So again, I think music, of course, is multidimensional. It reaches all cultures. She's definitely liked. So I wouldn't expect anything less from India. It doesn't matter where she is. That is Barbados, UK, or the environs. She's
You're not coming to
definitely.
Nigeria tomorrow, Seth. Not die.
We
She's a
will be at
global,
the we will be at the airport.
global superstar. Global
We'll be at the
superstar.
airport.
Qadri came, see how people behaved.
Oh, Chairman. Okay. Let's drift away now to check out what's looking like for one of our own.
Yeah, so
Mr. Adekunle Gold himself. AG is moved drift away from baby. AG babies is our daddy now. Let's move on. So he's happy about selling off the concert, the Tequila Ever show on Sunday, and that was at the Wembley Arena in London. Irabor, did you see this coming for him, or why should he be happy about it when the like of we've got the younger boys who came up and they sold out, and why is he celebrating it?
Yeah, I think it's several things. Number one, this concert was supposed to have held last year. That was in November, I think. And when they put out a message that the tickets will still be valid, and they were going to schedule it for March 3rd. You know, when you shift dates, if you do events and you do PR, it's a nightmare, no matter how you want to look at it. Even if you're a global superstar or whatever the case, it's just a nightmare because people's schedules, different things, world events, you know, it's so many things. Would people now have that enthusiasm, the way they purchase that ticket to now go for that same event again? You know, it's just crazy. And I'm sure he's cognizant of that particular fact because you can't really, you know, bet on your superstardom too much. You have to be human at a point. And I feel that came through. And for the fact that he is doing that for the first time, I don't think he has ever done that before, you know, for that particular venue. And with the pressure, you know, it's good pressure, it's good competition, you know, his peers or, you know, those that are above him, you know, doing the same thing, even those that are below him who maybe just came to the industry not too long ago are selling out, you know, arenas and all that. So for the fact that he can achieve that, you know, if you see when he was crying, you know, when he was in tears, he was with his wife, he was with his daughter. So you know that family front is there. That person is a human. He feels all these emotions, you know, despite the fact that he's the superstar and he drops bangers. So all these things, you know, I'm sure came to the fore for him. And it's just like, you know, realization of, wow, you know, I'm this big, I can do it. I did it, you know, despite all the obstacles. So all those things, you know, I remember when I made my first million, it just was a very surreal, you know, moment for me, like, so it can happen, really, you know. So I mean, I just after spending, I think I spent 11,000 after, and it wasn't a million again. My man was like, you see, I gotta make more. You understand? So I'm sure to him, if you do the math, you know, a 12,000 capacity, and you can imagine, let's say the average ticket is £20 or something. I mean, you know that yes, you know, school fees is sure for his child, but he has to still keep working, has to still keep pedaling. You know, I'm just so happy to see because Adekunle, you know, started off as a graphic artist, used that one to leverage into the industry, started releasing songs. He was the good boy doing Lover Boy, then he became AG Baby, and you know, I mean, his transition needs to be studied.
Cut it off again. Now back to
his transition needs to be studied. The likes of Omar Midada who have gone to universities abroad where they were, you know, being studied, or Mo Abudo, or even Tony Elumelu. I think the AG's transition needs to be studied as well. You know, he deserves it. I'm a fan of his. Like the guy is phenomenal.
Efe, just sum this up. Looking at, because he's talked about the wife, Simi being there, and Simi is also in the industry. But Simi, well, even though she drops once in a while, she's got a single out now out there. But what's happening to Simi right now?
Well, again, it's a process. It's not like anybody is rushing you. We don't need to pressure them when you feel like you are in your mood to release what you need to release. And don't forget that she's also a mom, so she has to juggle several things to be able to have a happy home, have a happy family, and then still need to perform or still need to put out music. So by all means, take your time to put out something good, because when Simi does release her songs, the songs actually are really pretty good. They're pretty good. And you know, she speaks French, so she can also do something for the French-speaking parts of Africa. So she will bring out something good. It was just a very, very touching moment, and it's good for even the doctor to see. Men do cry.
Wow.
Yeah, men do cry. And sold out 12,500 capacity is not a biz. In the UK, that means it wasn't just blacks, but they were white. It was a mixed race
Yeah.
audience. So
Yeah.
it really went a long way for him. He
Yeah.
expressed himself with his tears and definitely tears of joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's reach out to the one who's not strange to any of this kind of selling out of venues right now. Rather, this one sleeps and drink controversy. But what we see is he's gotten the key to a city now.
Yep.
And how safe is this city? They're handing the keys to him right now. Talk about Burna Boy in the keys to the Boston in Massachusetts, right? So,
yes.
Talk to us about this presentation of keys. What does it really signify? And for someone like Burna,
I think they even gave him a day. So there's a Burna Day, or is it my mind? Yeah, March 2nd. Yeah, March 2nd is Burna Day. And it can only get better. Yeah. I think Davido has a key or was given a day in Atlanta. Yeah. So again, it can only get better. Just appreciate. And he literally said it. He said, I feel incredibly privileged. Again, this is not in your home country. This is in another. You know, he was born here, he schooled in the UK, but in the US.
But this version of Burna is kind of humble from when you cast what he's coming, where in the last few weeks has been doing.
You will be humbled. America is a country with 50 states. One of those states now decides to give you a day and then the key to the city. It's even within their own artists. It's humbling. Like the people that have the star on the Walk of Fame, the people that have keys. So he farabaled, he humbled himself, and he was like, I feel privileged. And it's a good one. I literally felt it when I was reading the story. I put everything that most people have known about him aside, and I was like, you know what? He might not be a bad guy. Can you just give him a break? He might not be a bad guy. He's just being him.
You know, because we're connecting these two stories.
Yeah.
You know, we just left Rihanna a while ago. Okay. And so Efeture and Irabor, I'd like us to just draw a quick link.
Okay.
It was said a man had a chance to go to a city, a country to perform. Please just come and perform, and for a certain amount.
Yeah.
And then he said, if I'm not allowed to blow the blah there, I can't perform. But look at a Rihanna who, you know, a typical Rihanna performance would have been, you know, a lot of things shown out to the crowd and all of that. But to get the money, she went all in there, got the money, and she's out.
It's like Omatseye, you just want to throw the controversy into things. Again, with age, there just comes certain responsibilities. Just like they say in the popular movie, with more power comes more responsibilities. And Rihanna put on that thinking cap on. Remember, she also has a team. So their own work is also to understand the terrain and then just advise that, you know what, this is how you behave. But in terms of the man that is supposed to blow the blah, maybe Irabor, I don't know which man you're talking about.
I think I read a story about Burna Boy, Abi Snoop Dogg or somebody, you know, where they were like, if they can, I think Wiz Khalifa at a point, some of all these guys basically, you know, when they say if they can't really go to certain countries, you know, to do certain things, they wouldn't perform. I can understand what you mean by maturity, because there's a certain age you get to when you just start looking at certain things and you're like, I have to compromise here. I don't have to fight here. I have to just go along here. You know, it happens. I'm sure if you called Tony Tetula, any of all these other artists, that they should come somewhere and they don't need to certainly do certain things. Of course, they will be there. You know, they will come. Even Burna Boy today, the way it's going, I'm sure he will go anywhere. Even if it's Iceland, they tell him don't wear shirt. He will not wear shirt.
Oh my gosh. You people, leave Burna.
Let's touch on some of these other artists right now. Balashmoda. It connects again. Say the story where it's saying, I quit smoking weed over fear of my future. This is a young man we're talking about. So what does he say? Responsibility again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's again. You do what makes you happy, but you know that phrase is very tricky. You know, do what makes you happy. What makes you happy could be bad for you. Do you want, do you want to listen and take the advice and not do it? When I used to play basketball in the before my knee gave in, I gave out. I used to have some friends who would, during our timeouts, would smoke, and go back in the game. And I'll be like, Omo, don't do this thing, no. And they'll be like, I beg you today, you're all too much. Today now, these guys cannot even, if dog pursue them, that dog will catch them. It's over for them. Do you understand? So it's just, No, my point is there are certain things that you'd see and read, and you hear this kind of story about Bella's mother saying, "Oh, he quit smoking because of fear of his." Of course, it's bad. It's bad
Yes,
for
so.
you. There is no way to look at it. It is bad. Don't do it. But the eureka moment or the epiphany has to happen where you're like, this is what I need to do to stop, and I shouldn't be doing this. And I hope that people who are, should I say, tied to this thing or other things that are, addictive, they try their best to find a way. There should be an intervention, whether it's from God or whatever, to just, move away from it, because
give it up.
That artist that we were expecting to take the mantle, but I mean, he's where he is right now.
Go over to Olamide, leads Africa's rappers with the highest streams on major platform.
So just more information about the YBNL boss. Again, when I read the story, I haven't heard much about Olamide in a long time, aside the fact that he discovered Asake, or at least he wasn't.
They were nominated for the Grammy, so we must add that now.
So I think it's a big deal, of course. Higher streaming, we didn't get the platform they were streaming on, or Spotify. So Spotify churns out its list, I think, on a weekly or is it monthly, just talking about who is the highest streaming in Africa, in Nigeria, all over the world. And it's good for Olamide. He's still a bit under the wrap still. It's not like he's performing. He hasn't headlined a show in a while, even during the Christmas period. I don't think he headlined a show, but it's just good to know that people are still out there listening to him. His fans are still in tune with him. So we're expecting something great from him soon.
Irabor, close up the conversation for us. Rema delivers one of the performances. So are we going to say like Rema, like AG Baby? Because, Rema, it's more like it's bread and tea for him to do these things most often than not.
Oh, yeah. Rema, I mean, Rema has been blazing the trail. I mean, I heard his performance with the Ballon d'Or, FIFA, was about $1 million and above, So again, these guys are doing great things. I'm so happy for them. It's a great time to be a Nigerian in this regard, but not so much a great time to be a Nigerian, if you're living in Nigeria, you're the middle class, going down to the lower class. So, but again, speaking of Olamide, let me just pivot to that a little bit.
Yes.
Olamide is playing the role of, should I say, facilitator. You've been an artist. Remember that time when Olamide was releasing albums back to back. He has put in the work. It's just time for him to look for talents, make money, and just relax. Then maybe be inspired to release an album whenever he feels like. But he features in different albums, MI's album, this album, so he's doing well, in my own opinion. He's not supposed to be fighting with the current artists, in my own opinion. He has done his own bit. Then for Rema, I mean, to me, I feel Rema, it's time to keep releasing music and keep setting these records and breaking these records. It's his time. He just needs to do a nice 10-year stretch like Rihanna did.
Okay. So we'll go over now to messages as we conclude the conversation on the Grapevine this morning. Let's see. Tayo's here. It says, well, God bless Mr. Ibu. The circumstances of his death should be investigated by a coroner because a lot of things are suspect. God bless the late Sisi Qadri too. Nollywood lost a few. And it goes on. Namaste, please. Does the family need an in-law? Because Namaste, Tayo. Anyway, Irabor, we are projecting Irabor now, but then that's the last child that they're giving up now. Since you guys have a
No, they have a cousin, something that is related to them, something. I'm still researching. I'm checking for their Instagram handle. One thing. We will be there. Don't worry. You people don't want to invite to a wedding. You don't want to invite to a wedding. You don't want Rolls Royce to be picking you up. You don't want allowance, 100K pounds per month.
Irabor, really?
Friendship allowance. You don't want friendship allowance.
Congrats to AG Baby or AG Daddy. Brother Boy is about to lock that city up and not send them message because he is him. I hope they have spare key. And then it goes on. Let's go with Peter now. Mr. Ebu, the funny face on Nollywood. This guy brought joy to sad faces watching his movies. I remember Mr. Ebu in London. Oh, and then Ali just gives you your flowers this morning and it says, spot on, Irabor. Well, that's the show this morning. Thanks so much, Efeture Doghudje.
Thank you, Omas.
And thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much for your time.
I hope you guys saw his hair this morning. Very beautiful.
And thanks to everyone who's been part of it. My name is